Rattlesnake was a vain and ugly creature. He crawled in dark places and avoided the other desert animals. He was lonely but refused to act like it. One day, while sitting under a rock and wishing to be happy, he saw a desert runner sprinting past. "Wait," he called to the bird. "I have a favor to ask of you." Ugh.
Well, well, well. Never seen your face before. Can't say I like it. Number one, Mayor Eswin's law is absolute. Number two, now go meet the mayor yourself. He likes to know what the kobolds kicking from the wastes, especially with the families running wild. Listen to that. You're fitting in pretty well already. I'll see you around Whitestone, Dogface. He's a dangerous man, and he'll stop at nothing to bring ruin to Whitestone. Luckily, the mayor knows how to deal with crooks like Scory, miners. And they used to make a good living too, back when Modus Mining had its teeth in Apatia. But when Modus pulled out, the money dropped. Now most of them are criminals. A nasty lot. The Zungars are the worst. The Dagvari and the Sinrig no Leonis Dan. There's plenty of them. Just ask Kara, or walk a few paces out of Whitestone in any direction. So a few weeks ago, I caught a bandit trying to slip into the mayor's window. Fool. He's been locked up in a cage ever since. Simpestiliana was first sworn. They called her the Desert Runner, and you do well to learn her ways out here. He's not from around here. A city boy born and raised in Myria. Came to seek fortune, but landed in Apatia right when Modus Mining caught their losses. You'd think he'd wither in this desert, but it was his idea to bring in the mercenaries. With Mayor Eswin in Whitestone, we have a... People call it Bone Town because of the pale rocks jutting up from the sand. And because of the death rate.
Mayor Eswin isn't paying me enough for this. Tomorrow's gonna be hot. Careful out there.
Welcome to the Thirsty Wench. I'm Bera Grastar, owner, innkeep, and namesake. We don't get many strangers in Whitestone, at least not since Motus pulled out and the mercenaries dug in. What can I get you? Don't tell anyone, but I've run out of meat to serve the customers. If these louts find out, they're liable to start a riot. Do you have any meat with you? I'll pay you good money for it. Okay, I guess that's better than nothing. I don't care where you get it, as long as it smells like meat when I place it over the fire. Hurry up with some meat, or it'll be my bones they'll be eating. Not everyone in Apatia worked for one of the big mining families, but most of them did. And when the work dried up, they stayed with their crews. Only now they're robbing travelers and kidnapping merchants instead of digging. Only thing we dig in Whitestone these days are graves. He's fine as far as nobles go, although he doesn't exactly fit in around here. He lacks that important layer of filth that comes from growing up in Apatia. Barely worth my breath, those bastards. Tell me, is it right to build a town and then suddenly leave it to rats? I don't think so either. The gnomes of Motus Mining have the people's hopes to answer for. They know better than to ever show their faces in Apatia again. You mean Steg? He's a good kid. Dumb as a plank, but sweet as they come. I really hope he gets out soon so he and Rindy can be together. Sure, we've got a few available, but they'll cost you. Nothing comes cheap in Whitestone. Sounds good. I'll set it up. If I'm not mistaken, you've already rented my last bed. Yeah, they come into town every so often, looking to socialize, I guess. Best keep your eyes on your belongings. There's a whole camp of them east of here near the cliffs. I think they call it Sun Camp. That was a joke. Same old faces, same old troubles. Whitestone hasn't changed much since the gnomes left us to the wastes. The mercenaries are new and good for business. We do have a few visitors, Alpha and a traveller to boot. I'd better watch out or the thirsty wench is going to get all respectable.
back off.
What is it? Can't you see I'm celebrating? That's right. Raise a glass, friend. Let's make a toast to cowards. I've made a choice, you see. After much deliberation and many pints, I've decided to disobey my to the fires with orders. I'm finished delivering death notices. I've seen the faces of the war dead. I've no desire. I volunteered to be a messenger, to bring death notices from the War Council to the families of the deceased. I thought it would be welcome respite from the war. It's been its own kind of hell. I got through some of them, but by the time I reached Apatir, I was done. You would do that? It would keep me from getting discharged, for I'm not going back. Here are the death notices. Take this medicine as well. I have my own right here. Ironic, isn't it? I can face the enemy, but I can't face the families of those who fought beside me. Pathetic. Your energy will not be spent in vain. I will pay you well to do this for me, but the road will be long and fraught with grief. Tell them what you want. Won't change what has happened. Sons and daughters are gone. No one can soften that blow. I walk the wall of Melsenshir. Do you know what that's like? The silence breathes. The shadows move. Every night is a lifetime. No drink can drown those... What's there to say? The Tuatha just keep growing bolder, and our numbers fewer. Not like the people of Apatir care. They've got their own problems. This village is as good as any. I've seen many such places. All of them ravaged by the war. All of them feeling the distant decay of the Tuatha. There is no escape. Goodbye.
Are they giving you a hard time around here too? Whitestone, a boot full of vipers, this place. Can't stand it. And after everything we've done for them down in Sun Camp, you'd think they'd be more appreciative. And starvation's too good for the mayor, I say. You don't look like one of Eswin's ruffians. No, you look different, which is a good thing in this sun-blasted nothing. All right. I'll tell you. Our friend the mayor has something stashed up in his house, something worth a fortune. Can you believe that? There's something of actual value in Whitestone. I've been sent to get it, but I can't seem to find a way in. Until inspiration strikes, I'm waiting here, keeping the ale busy. We're travellers by affiliation, but we specialise in fair exchange of goods and services. You'll find us east of here, past the old Motors Mining Headquarters building, just shy of the seaside cliffs. You should stop by, it's quite a view. Silly question. Who doesn't hate the mayor? We travellers had a good thing going here in Whitestone. The people came to us for their needs. We had a relationship. Now Mayor Eswin says trading with travellers is illegal, and as a result the folks of Apatir won't touch us. I'm surprised they even let me into town without... You're welcome to give it a go, but I can't promise you'll get anywhere. That old mansion was built by the gnomes back when they first settled the village. It's got more hidden corners than a spider web. I doubt old Eswin's even seen all of it. I doubt the old mayor has either. Maybe I'll show some initiative eventually. Until then, you're welcome to make us both look good. The doors are locked, so I'm guessing there are keys required. That's usually how the arrangement works. It wasn't my life plan to become a traveler, believe me. But sometimes my parents were miners and worked themselves to the bone to provide. When the Terrenium dried up, so did they. He's as corrupt as they come, but I shouldn't be one to speak, not with my associations. Still, it's one thing to say you're a crook, and another to pretend you're not. Some of us join because we have to. Others expect it to be an adventure. We're a patchwork, really, a glorious patchwork of imperfection. It's a good town, or it was before the Motus disaster and the mercenaries. I have fond memories of Whitestone. I used to buy candy at Varrick's place. Simpler times. Bye.
Back off.
What are you looking at?
Yes, what is it? We're not supposed to speak with the citizens. Joanne? You mean my wife has died? I knew she sailed for Cluricon, but we got so little news here in Apatir. I told her the war wouldn't last. My wife was beautiful. She deserved better. I only wish I could have given it to her. I only wish I could have been there for her in the end. Thank you for telling me. What's there to say? It's an unfortunate affair. I don't foresee anyone coming out the better for it. I only hope that many return from the front lines unharmed. Joanne never wanted children. She said it was too harsh a world for young ones. Said we should use our lives to make a difference. The army rejected me on account of my missing toes. So I came here to make extra coin while Joanne was away. To wait for her. Now it seems I'll wait forever. Nothing to tell, really. My wife and I lived in Rathir, until we had to take work elsewhere. She in the army and me with this rough outfit. I hate being apart. Same as any place else, in my opinion. I just stick to the job. Guard, train, and rough up anyone who gets in the way of the mayor's plans.
Be on your guard.
Hello. Don't kill me, please. Just a little Whitestone humor for you. Maybe it's not for everybody. My name's Varrick Dunbert. In my trade selling. We get a quirky collection of goods in town these days. You're welcome to it. Oh, don't you break into a sweat over the Sinriks and the Zungars. Good people. At least they were back in the days of the cart and shovel. Now they make their living with the sword. Can't say I blame them. Not after what the note... Honestly? Well, I'm not sure what to make of that one. He's certainly got clean hands. Have you seen his cottage? It is more rooms than a flop house. Some say they're not criminals, despite the mayor's proclamations. I'll refrain from judging. You're right, I see pretty much everything and everyone that comes in and out of Whitestone. And just the other day I noticed a real sorrowful-looking Alfar lurking around the tavern. I don't mind them. In fact, think Mitharu, that sun camp, is just down the road. Without their merchants, the people of Whitestone would starve to death. We don't get many supplies from the city, and there's no work to be done in trade. Honest thieves, one man's opinion. See you soon.
Yeah? Mind yourself.
Good day. You're probably wondering what I'm doing here. Well, I'll try to keep it short, even though I've got all the time and... What did I do? Nothing. I just happened to bear the name Darkvari, a crime and upper-tier in these trying times. The mayor's blade seized me. Here's the trick of it. I was leaving home, slipping free of my familial bondage. I'm no thug. Her name is Hrindi Zungar, and at this very moment she waits for me with no word of my whereabouts. She is the sun that comes to warm me every morning. We met a short time ago. Yes, Zungars and Darkvari aren't exactly kin. In fact, they're sworn enemies and rivals. Imagine how... I knew I liked you. From the moment I laid eyes on you through these enormous eyes. Getting the key won't be easy. Bjorn, the head of their mercenaries, carries it on his person. I wouldn't want to be the one who has to rifle through his pockets. Bjorn's men are ridiculously loyal. Try to catch him alone, out of the friendly eye. If you don't, our little agreement will end up rather short-lived. Sinriks, Darkvari, Zungars, and Scorias, all bastards. Not half as bad as these guards. I care not for stale poison. I doubt the Zungars and Darkvari even know why they're angry. It's an old hatred. I've promised to rescue Hrindi from her family's life of corruption. She deserves more than a shack along the snake tail. She deserves sky blue. I've been in this cage for weeks, but Hrindi will wait. We swore an oath. I am no one of consequence, something the guards in Whitestone failed to realize. However, if you ask my father, he'd take my side. Look, I'm in a cage in the middle of this town. What do you want me to say? I'm not really in a good position to talk about it right now.
Oh, look what the dust brought in.
Stand right there. Let me take a look at you. Filthy, weary, lonely. But I'm Mayor Eswin Elfhelm, and I'm the closest thing to a friend you've got around. Some call it war. I call it survival. The Modus mining interest left an empty... The people here, the decent, honest, hard-working people of Apotir, have been through... My goals are simple. To stop the warring in Whitestone. and to rescue it from the brink of extinction. And you can... I like you. You're not a fool. Want to know what you're getting into? Well, I think big, but I want you to acquire something for me. Something that rightfully belongs to... There's a man named Adolf Scoria, patriarch of the most prominent mining family in Apotir. Now Adolf refuses to surrender the property. In fact, he's gone into hiding and won't meet with me. I need you to acquire what is legally mine. The deed to his claim. Modus Mining stored all the records in its old headquarters east of the village. But the building is an obstacle in the way of progress. The old man still believes that Apotir could come back from its decline by force of will. Typical of a miner. Keeps digging away. There are 4 mining families. The Darkvari, the Sinriks, Zungars, and the Scorias. When the gnomes departed, so did the job. Starvation, desperation, well, they change people. But the others, they turn to banditry. The usual: theft, kidnapping, murder. You'd best stick close to Whitestone. The Sinrik boys think this is a game. They're laughing now, but we'll see how they like the taste of their own ruthlessness. They're the second oldest family in Apotir, and they're headed for a prison, or the graveyard. The Darkvari were hit hardest by Modus's relocation. The young men and women walked. Now they're all that's left. Sad story, isn't it? Doesn't excuse their lord. My given name is Eswin Elfhelm, but people around here call me Mayor Eswin. I grew up in the old main city of Myria, west of here. I'd never worked a full day in my life. I'm certainly making up for it now. I sleep 1-2 hours a night. Once the Terrenium ran out, they moved on. Gnomes don't care for the welfare of other races. They're hoping we'll kill each other off, save them the trouble. Terrenium. It's the only reason the gnomes ever graced it here with their presence. Normally they'd find the climate too dry. They like their... Modus Mining settled Whitestone, built all the mines and relocated the families. Once they'd taken what they came for, they vanished almost overnight. My home. A lifetime ago, it seems. The port was nice. The smell of fish. You'd have a hard time finding anything that resembles Myria here in Detir. Liars, thieves, and scum. Let's hope they never take control of Apotir. This little town was the heart of the boom, the engine that drove the rise of Edessa. But the gnomes moved out. With the gnomes went the gold, and with the gold went the jobs. Whitestone has been a shell of itself since. It would take quite a bit to convince me the Zongars weren't criminals from the start. It's probably no surprise the worst miners of Apotir make the best brigands. Probably in that relic of a building that was once Motus headquarters. Now a haven for thugs and criminals. Near the cemetery to the east.
Be on your guard.
Hello. You there. You look like you... That didn't sound quite right. Are you interested in some work? If so, the mayor of what? Go check the bone wall. There's something there for not a weakling in the bunch. Every one of them with a thirst for combat. The Zungars are the worst, but the Darkvari and Sinriks aren't much better. Don't worry about the Scorias. They're everywhere, but harmless. The Bone Wall is where we post bounties and contracts. I'm sure you can guess how it got its name. The Sinriks are handsome boys, despite their ways. They always give me a smile from afar. Too scared to get... The Darkvari are a miserable lot, but don't let the rags and rusty daggers fool you. What they lack in skill, they make up for in brute. Ah, so you've been talking to Bjorn, have you? I'm not that interested in the Warsworn stories. You'll have to talk to Mayor Eswin about the Scorias. He asked us to focus on the other families. I don't know much about it. Mayor Eswin brought me and Bjorn down first, out of Ironfast Keep. If I were you, I'd stay in town, avoid the wastes. The desert is crawling with kobolds, and just about every human you find out there. The Zungars killed the first group of mercenaries that Eswin hired. Raided Whitestone the very next day. We've held them off for a while now, but they're tough, even for Warsworn. So long.
Be on your... guard. Hello. Careful out there. Hey!
Well done. Now, you've done me this one favor. Let's finish what we've started. First, I need to fetch the item that will finance our new life in Odessa, our nest egg. Then I need you to find Hrindy and bring her to me at our old meeting place in Snaketail Canyon.
Yeah?